This is an unusual Saturday for me. My Saturdays are usually very busy, and it appears that this Saturday just isn't busy. I would have had a meeting scheduled for today, but I kind of postponed it till tomorrow. But a thought occurred to me a while, and I felt I need to share with others. That is why I'm here. The question is, what if? It's an incomplete statement. What if? What if the things you have delayed to start for this many years are actually the main source of your breakthrough? Yes. What if that project, that idea, that talk show, that business, that skill acquisition program, the friendship, the social skills you needed to gather, the socialization, networking, what if those are the reasons why you don't feel fulfilled? I did not say you don't have money. And a lot of times, the reason for this is what if? What if I start and fail? What if? What if I start and I'm mocked? What if? What if I start and people say, oh, I think it was, I can't remember his name now, something Homos. I think he's a US guy. He said that one of the social skill we must learn is the skill to continue when no one is praising us, the skill to endure criticism, and a lot of times ignore the ones that are not rational criticism. But a lot of people have been bogged down by that question or that phrase, what if? What if it doesn't succeed? But I believe that the right kind of question should be, what if it does? What if it succeeds? It's just too small word, but honestly, they might be the most powerful and terrifying and exciting words in the world. What if I start that business? What if I went back to school? What if I learned how to draw, paint? What if I start that health routine? What if I start eating better? I mean, better, not necessarily costlier food and all of that. Lesser carb, just healthy eating. What if I stopped drinking? What if I got closer to my parents who I've been away from for this many years? What if I forgave that person? Maybe they will call you weak. What if we spend so much of our lives standing on the edge of our own potential? Look at the things we want, the big goals or the tiny dreams, and we tell ourselves, I'm not ready. I don't have money. I don't have time. Who am I to try? Where should I start from? And as we ask these questions, time goes, we get older, the passion becomes less fierce, less demanding. We learn to manage, we rewire our brain to accept the level of comfort or fulfillment that we have, and then life continues that way. But let me ask you, what if you are ready? What if the only thing standing between you and that goal is your decision to take the first step? Can we think about the biggest dreams that we have? It could be opening a small shop. If you huge, what if we start? And I have often noted that the reward for starting something or being able to consistently be a starter is often not necessarily in the thing achieved. Let's say you have a goal of buying a car. Okay, when you bought it, It will ease some stress, allow you some form of leverage in terms of getting to where you want to get. You know all of the advantages of getting a car. But what if getting that car requires you to do some savings? When you get that car, you'll be happy initially. But if you're a conscious observer of your life, the thing that makes the most or brings the most joy or happiness in getting that car is the discipline you applied in putting some money aside to achieve a goal. So when the next project comes, your brain recalls that we have gone through this step before and we achieved it, so it is possible now. Late last year, at some point, I said, I'm going to be eating just twice. Late in the morning, 11:30, 12, 1 p.m. And then my last food must not be a minute more than 6 o'clock. I began feeling good. But beyond the feeling of health and more strength and all the joy, the biggest dividend for taking step to do what you want to do and consistently taking those steps, it's actually in the discipline that you apply in achieving that goal. Because at the end of the day, when you get a car, after some time, the car looks old to you, clothes. But the process that led you, the conscious, well thought out process that led you to getting that car, your brain recognizes it and you can literally apply it again. That is why it appears that successful people keep succeeding. The advantage they have is that they took that first step and reverse the issue of what if. Maybe and the truth is that what if can have two sides, positive and negative. Some post what if is negative. What if I failed? What if I don't? Yeah. But the other side is what if it succeeds? Since there are 50-50 chance, it's 1-to-1 ratio of success. What if it succeeds? If it is 50-50, how about you try the positive 50-50? These small steps that you can take, maybe waking up early, trying to put out the content online, putting out yourself out there, letting people know what you do, and consciously doing it, not casually. That's just the aim. What if it succeeds? What if it grew? What if in doing that you actually find purpose and fulfillment? What if it doesn't succeed even? Who cares? It's your life. It doesn't succeed. You try something else. But the truth is, the man who tried and failed and starts another thing, the man who tried and failed, I meant to say, and eventually starts another thing, another venture, is not this, they are not the same people. The one who tried and failed and starts another thing is starting another thing with experience. He has probably learned how it does not work. Most of the invention we have today are products of consistent positive response to the question, what if? This is already long enough, but just ask yourself and be brave enough to give an answer. What if I start today? What if this is my moment? What if I can? What if it succeeds? And like I said earlier, you have a 50-50 chance of the success of that adventure. Go find out.